What is going on, everyone? Anthony Drew Gary here, and on this episode of the How To Show, we are talking about home ownership and, more importantly, how to make home ownership more affordable. If you know me in any capacity of my day job, I work in affordable housing development, and this is an issue that is important to me. I think it's an issue that's important to our entire country. And the issue of home ownership is one that comes up regularly as, something that is getting out of control in terms of how much it costs. The prices of housing are going up rapidly. The prices of mortgage interest rates going up rapidly as well. And so that means that the price of home ownership is excessively getting worse and worse and worse. And so as a country, we can find ourselves running into a risk of income earners who cannot afford housing. And if I were to ever run for public office one day, and I'm not committing to that, nor am I committing to not doing that, I think that this is something that I would touch on and try to tackle, because I think I have a solution that could get us in the right direction. And so right now, typically when you buy a house, you get yourself a mortgage. Very common. Typically folks don't have enough money to go pay cash for a house. So you get yourself a mortgage, usually either 15 or 30 years, and more often than not it's 30 years because the payment for a 15-year mortgage is very expensive. And so the way that I want to frame this is that when somebody takes out a 15 or a 30-year mortgage, specifically a 30-year mortgage, the likelihood that that person is going to live and pay the payments on that house for 30 years without moving, having a job change, having to move up or down in house, making a lifestyle adjustment, throughout that entire 30 years is very, very slim. Very few people carry out a 30-year mortgage for the full 360 payments. So, why don't we set ourselves up in a scenario where first-time home buyers have access to a 40-year mortgage? And a 40-year mortgage is not a new concept in affordable housing finance. Affordable housing developments work on a 40-year amortization in a good number of situations. And so why don't we take that sort of idea and bring it to the home ownership realm? And just to see if I was onto anything whatsoever, did a little bit of research, and it looks to me that the Department of Housing and Urban Development earlier this year announced the addition of 40-year mortgage modification with partial claim to home retention options for struggling borrowers. And so basically what that means is if you have a 30-year mortgage and you're in a little bit of financial trouble, you can modify your loan and make it a 40-year amortization. What's that do practically? It drags your payment down and makes it extend over a longer period of time. So theoretically, we have the tools in place to get this done. What if we look at it as a 30-year option cannot be sufficient for some income earners in our country? We have the opportunity to look at a 40-year mortgage. And, some people may say, yeah, but a 40-year mortgage means that they're spending a lot of extra money on interest every month. They're paying really little principal down. Unfortunately, that's factual. However, if it is the difference between getting into home ownership or spending 5 to 7 extra years renting, the other side to look at this is the opportunity to participate in the appreciation of real estate. And it's not a fact for every single year, but more often than not, the value of real estate goes up in trajectory. And so if you have the ability, even if you're making negligible principal payments every year and a lot of your money is going toward interest, the reality here is you have the ability, if you were in a 40-year note, to have the participation of the equity that's being built by the neighborhoods that are around you appreciating and by your house appreciating. And so realistically, if you're in a first-time home buyer situation or if you're in a renting situation, you are paying the mortgage interest somehow or another. You're either paying it for the landlord or you're paying it for yourself. And so the thought process here is to open up 40-year mortgages to first-time home buyers, to give them the opportunity to have a foot in the door, and ultimately to give them an opportunity to be competitive. Because if you have a 40-year mortgage rather than a 30-year mortgage, it gives you the ability to be able to qualify for more mortgage, which means qualify for more house. And the difference in 30 years versus 40 years could be the difference on the low end of the home prices in your area, the difference between somebody being able to qualify for a house and somebody not being able to qualify for a house. Oftentimes, the difference between the two is whether or not the person can buy that house, or if some investor comes and buy that house and is renting it back to them probably at a rate that's a little higher than the mortgage would be for them anyway. So just want to stir some pot, if you will, to think about this. 30-year mortgages are standard, but why is that? It's a debt product. Ultimately, the debt products can change. Why can't we extend it to 40 years to open up home ownership to new people? I encourage you to comment with all the reasons why this doesn't work, because I'm curious to hear them from people. Leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think. Share this video with somebody who you think may get benefit from it, or if you know somebody in a lending capacity who could refute some of the thoughts that I've got going on here, let me know about that too. And as always, if you like the content that I'm bringing you each and every week, you can subscribe to be the first to know about new videos when they come out. You can hit the notification bell as well, and you'll be the first to know. If you are looking to sell your home in the Indianapolis market, as always, I can help you do that. You can get in touch with me down in the comments or at IndyDwell.com. Happy to help with you, happy to talk with you. I love talking real estate. This is what I do for life, really. So happy to help you in that world. Until next time, this is Anthony Drew Gary, host of The How To Show, signing off.